Hey guys, it's me here in this little circle of life. So I thought I'd come onto my channel and help encourage you, help show you, excuse me, just eating something, help show you and such to be able to see our furry friends. Like even in this video right there in the background, I'm just going to use my red dot on just showing you, just for showing you. See those black dots right there? Probably that one too and stuff. That pitch of black at this distance, that small, is a tough pull-in for the camera. I want you to understand that. So I want you to understand even in this video here, that right there, when you take the time to zoom this area, the amount you get to see change is, I don't know. I know, come back into this video and watch what I'm doing right now, because you probably can't see what I'm doing. But I'm wearing a black shirt and I'm using my hand, and within my area of my shirt, I'm doing a certain amount of movement. And what you'll do is you'll use that plant, like I'm using my beard right now, as an example to show you that they do flop up. I was just looking at a lady's video here today where she's filming inside her living room, it looks like, or something, dining room. And she's using an advantage, and at the same time there's a disadvantage to a person who doesn't know how to look at the parallax or different things like this. So while she's doing this view of one window going this way and then another one coming off this way, she circles where they are outside. And you're seeing a mass amount of reflection of the inside of the house in this. So what I chose to do is I slowed the video as far down as I could and watch that circle as the circle happened, because the circle is giving us a speed now. Okay, so she's circling me, but my mouth is going like this, okay? But now I have it in slow motion. So now while that circle is going slower, I'm able to do maybe more lip reading, whatever. The point is, I got to see what she was talking about out there because I slowed down the video. If I wouldn't have slowed down the video, I wouldn't have realized that. So I'm not teasing you. I'm not acting like a fool. All these 16-second ones and stuff, I'm trying to encourage the young to come, trying to grab their attention a little bit, and they're, what is this supernatural? I see nobody else's channel being called supernatural. What is this guy up to? Is he just a yahoo, one of these crazy guys or whatever? Sorry, just bit my tongue actually. And I do have some tea here. Yeah, so that's part of the reason why I do the 16-seconders. It's like that. This collection one, if you're not trying to obtain the knowledge towards characteristics or DNA functions of these beings, you like how our world is, if we would have done it different, it would have been similar. Do you not get that? These guys are doing the same thing. They're just doing what they're supposed to kind of feel like doing, and it comes out of them. And we have to now get involved because they're causing too many issues. We got to start to get the world to understand them, because nobody understands them, and they do mimicry. And I'm just going to say this, that they cause problems between our militaries. They really do. And it's serious. It's one of the top serious subjects of upsetting the militaries, and they're all upset. I kid you not. Right here is a collection of rubber. This one right here, we're gonna play this one, okay? It's a 49 seconder. We can put it on slow motion at time and play her. And when this fire part comes up, is when you're supposed to be really alert. I can't get it, but you see to that way, see all that black that right there, now I'm on top of it, it's kind of like a side of a teepee. That's a pile of them. See right in here. Right in behind here and stuff, like it's up to you to, oh no, that's just a branch. Maybe you're just looking at the branch and you're not realizing that they're amongst a tree while they're amongst each other. Now you go make a pile of 15 people in your living room in any different shapes, take pictures and stuff, and that's kind of like what they're doing, like that Twister game almost, but different. In the teepee, so that's the totem pile. The totem pole is where the Native Americans' history is going to run off of. That they created, these guys actually do the totem pole, and the Native history here ended up representing it into animals that we actually can understand. And so let's watch this. If I could. It's kind of neat because I did a sound bump for my son's voice. I'm not going to worry about sounds. But I did a sound bump for my son. So down and around here, let's do this. Let's make it a little bit longer by going playback speed down to 25. And then I'm going to go over to here because I'm hoping our internet quality. Oh, 480, should I leave it there? Let me say I'll step it up to 720 then, okay? I don't want to be too hard because I don't want to start to stagger you guys. And I'm going to give myself a thumbs up. And so if any of you want to, maybe I should check that right now. Oh, that's the wrong button, I think. Oh, yeah, there is somebody there. There's Scared Silly. Okay, right on. Perfect. So Scared Silly, if this ends up dragging a little bit, can you let me know, please? Thank you. Okay, so back into the game here. I got it on slow-mo. Right here is a figure or more of one. There's going to be one right there. Red dot is our pointer. Right in, you see, I'm kind of going, trying to get over further, but I can't. See down here, see this pocket, see around here. You're not seeing what you think is, oh no, Ian, the sun's behind you somehow, and it's reflecting a shadow from this brush onto these trees back in here. That is not where the sun is. The sun's way back here somewhere. But we're not even using the sun to help direct your knowledge. I'm trying to get you to really feel strong in the blackness. Like I'm way up on a rock here, okay? So see this mark right here. I'm actually probably, I don't know, but I might be 20 feet away from them or something like that. So if you're able to run around in here, if you were a rat that was aware, and you know the kids keep coming down and seeing, okay, he's still standing there, mommy's standing on the rock, okay, and then they run back and they check more, they're able to do all this stuff, they're able to get over to here in maybe seconds without us knowing, and so on and so forth. And you really got to create stuff, the understanding. And see, within this tree right here, there's probably somewhat of totem pole in there. There we go. We're yeah, so go on to my, actually when this was done live, guys, go on to and click that message board there, and you'll see when people like Scared Silly is putting up some of her supporting comments, or whether they would be not supporting comments, because I can't erase them, I'm thinking. Anyways, and then you get to see some more. I can't get into that corner, but right in those dark areas, no doubt. Listen to this before I push play again. On one of my recent videos of just this new area here, I'm walking, just started my video. That's right, it was one of the first ones. I believe it was even the first one. Just within seconds, I thought I seen some darkness down on whichever side I chose. Seen some darkness. So I did the thing I do. Started doing some screenshots. and made it slow or whatever, just tried to make it so I could see. Susie to anyone, perfect. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, eh? But anyways, so what I end up discovering, and I got them in my my picture selection. My mind's going, a few different ways. Awesome, we appreciate that, love. And so what I'm going to say is that, sorry, I got to get back on track here. So those pictures, those few series of pictures, experience, yeah, I got a lot of experience. So remember, I can go like this pretty good. Sounds like other people can go like this pretty good too. There's lots of people who haven't even gotten to see one, and sometimes are kind of begging that they want to be able to see one. And all I can do is get their minds to really guide to the spot, and now their imagination has to help build the shapes of what's going on in there. And I'm telling you, you can use beings with 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth, 2 ears, heads. You can do that kind of stuff. You don't have to go out to space kind of stuff. You don't. Is there a lopsidedness, a weirdness in it, and so on and so forth? There is a whole bunch of stuff that goes on that we don't really know enough about to fully call out that whole program of it. So I'm not going to go there. Anyways, I'll read you in a minute. They're scared silly. And so now let's continue, if I made my point, hopefully. So we're on slow-mo here. Just letting us go through some stuff here, maybe a little bit. Oh, no, it's still going. But I think what I might do is I'm going to bump it. Did I go too far? Yes, I did. Let's go back to here. Because I want to... Yeah. I don't know, some guy pulls up beside my window and honks his horn. He's calling somebody else, I think. Okay, let us get back focused, Ian. It's okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave it here so we can walk to that area. I don't know how much I allowed it to come in first. I should have maybe done that, because that's what you're seeing. Whoops. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hit a pause. Gonna go to here, and I'm gonna pause it. Boom, made it in time. So you see that pile right beside me there, right there. Well, that's as far as I can come over. So that pile, yeah, you can see it definitely. Like I'm higher now, so you can see it. If I'm here, I'm pointing to it up there. It's that pile. And from this distance I'm going to go with an untrained eye, it looks like a normal bush. But trust me, when I see the floating of what goes on here, they really catch my attention. The 2 that I decided to use for an opportunity to try to teach people to open the horizon. I'm not, like, if you really study my work, I'm telling you to study. I'm telling you that if I brought one out standing beside me right now, a high percentage of people are gonna say it's fake, it's in a costume, it's whatever. So you understand what has to happen? You will see the light one day. You will get the information one day where your brain will always argue with, no, I know about these kind of animals' brain, and your brain's going to start going, no, look harder at this one, look, try. That's why you got to try to get the ball rolling here. So now we jump to that pile. So you see what you're looking at. And somehow we're supposed to believe that's a tree. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of trees. There's no sense using the word pareidolia. Like, that's just a word that the silly people brought up. The big people kicked in, because too many people that can step away from the Bigfoot and think larger, that there's more going on than what seems to be a couple of monkeys over here and a couple of monkeys over there or something. Seems to be bigger than that, and that's why people want to feed the UFO thing, which I'm telling you right off the bat, for me, UFO is dead. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. If there's any UFOs, it's what we're just trying to get out into space a little bit, and they're becoming the UFOs for maybe if anybody out there would have the capability of viewing them or something like that. Other than that, if you really get into the mind of some of the geniuses, they tell you there's no UFOs. I'll quickly tell you that, and then we'll go back to this thing. One is a Canadian astronaut that lives here out of British Columbia, recently retired. Look him up through those kind of things. He was the longest served guy up in the space station and such. Through an interview recently, I heard him talking about that because they're asking him questions. And he goes into, nah, they can't be, and blah, blah, blah. And I think he even explains how they are capable of knowing the history, blah, blah, blah. The other person is Elon Musk. On a few of his serious interviews, you can tell he seriously is saying that, because he would have a fear then. He would know there's some kind of a competition, but he doesn't talk, or he admits there that there's kind of like there's no competition. So let's push play, look at this some more. Whoops, I should have left it like that. So what we got is we got huge beings in here. If you actually got in there and really study the other one when it's further away in the highest picture quality. Let's do that right now. I don't know. Yeah, because I think you guys might actually, whoops, are you advanced? Are you seeing, stupid head was in the wrong way spot. Let's see if it does a little twicker here. I don't know if you guys see my setting, your setting. Okay, and this is really in here. They really are. Is there a tree there? Yeah, we can see a tree for sure right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to explore this spot. I know it very well now. And I think we almost had to walk through there to get in there. Don't worry about the third eye, but I hear you on that one. So now we're really coming into the forms there. You see how they're blackening way better and so on and so forth on this right side. If you really get into it and stuff, you start figuring out, okay, well, I think that's probably a leg. I see there's a hand or a foot on that side. You know, that's a head, that's a head. Okay, this is okay, I can see somebody's arm sticking out in front of these obvious trees over here or something. And at the same time, all that little black on those trees might not be legitimate. That might be the little babies, little beings, whatever the whole story will be. I think it's babies and stuff are going to be, will be making their own totem poles. There's a certain amount of freedom that they've adapted to, I believe. That, I think that is part of the thing, is like our children are getting all this freedom stuff, and you know, we're worried on some stuff and we're not worried on everything. We're kind of just letting it be the way it is. Well, I think the same thing. So like people talk about some kind of an opening. Yeah, I guess. Like I've never bought into that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, I guess maybe there is some kind of an energy change. But I'm telling you, when it comes to the natural zone of life here, and you know how everybody's talking about we're changing these qualities and stuff, don't believe the humans, because I'm telling you right now that if you get me, you might already be on the wagon a little bit. But if you don't, stick around. If you find this interesting that at all, and I do actually start, because I had a short that did 80,000 views the other day in 12 hours. So if I actually start getting some pumps, then I'll feel the passion. I got 2 or 3 people here. Hey, Delta, how's it going, Star Delta? Good to see you. Anyways, yeah, so that's that, and I'm going to do a little rewind on this then, for the little bit of latecomers, just so they can hear what this wacko Canadian's saying, and I'm saying it's all real, guys, so let's enjoy. Right off here, right to the edge of the screen, right now just came in the tree we're going to look at. Now there's where it is. So you'll have two different distances to be able to do your own lengths on that and stuff. Fair enough? Whoops. And now what we're doing is we're hitting the other one right now. It's right here. There's stuff, there's a whole pile, there's a lot going on there. There's stuff in our way so we can't see all the features down here. But if you really look into that, you'll end up realizing like what kind of a branch is. To me, that looks like probably two of them holding hands right there at that point. You see that center point at top of my head? I was trying to use the top of my head to point at something there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that back. I'm going to hit his pause here, brighten it up, and I'm going to bring this. Now, you see these two things at the top of my head there. There's one that goes that way, and then there's kind of another one on there. I think that's probably, and then you see those shadow bands? I swear, we can see those in our fingers. So if you happen to see somebody and you think hands are like this, or I was going to show finger glasses, but I'm not going to, because then it's fully putting me onto this conversation and stuff, and I use my ways. But if you took your fingers and you just rolled them into some glasses and you put them up into your head and you close the rest of your fists, or maybe at one point keep them out open and stuff. Imagine flipping your hands upside down to be able to do that if your flexibility is that good. Theirs is. So picture those items. Picture the shadowing lines just from your bathroom when you're doing it within your fingers. And that line, it shows. It shows. I've seen it many a times, and I think I'm the guy who most likely coined the terminology of finger glasses. And many of my viewers started to share even that terminology, and they'd go onto other channels and they would start to recognize it and stuff like that. So it's this level. And I'm just this dude. Like, I don't live in this car, but I lived in a car for a number of years. I'm living in a van. Had a little bit of a rough bumps in life, but that's just life. Who isn't having rough bumps at all? Like, who isn't? Everybody is, even the rich man on the hill. So, I just wanted to point out, I was going to say something good there. That I don't remember. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some of these. Actually, yeah, because I showed you the arm things. So I'm going to rewind it here one more time. Hit that. We're going to watch that little mound up above my head there. And now I'm pointing my red dots on it. So you guys have your fun with that. And if you do frame by frame, that's very helpful. And understand how needles of a tree, leaves of a tree, are really going to give you the feedback. Like, they'll fit in with these and stuff. With these, I don't think there's any ferns there, actually. I think there's other kind of brush there, but you guys are giving me way too many things to read. I hope I don't have to read them all. So where are we at here? Whoops, I keep doing that. So pretty cool there. And there's ones hidden in there. If you're seeing some black spots where you're going, hey, Ian, what about so-and-so and so-and-so? So on our swing back, we're getting to see all kinds of stuff going on. You get to see, like, see all these blackheads right below me right here? There's going to be a real good possibility that we got some freshies coming out now. Some freshies in here. You see these little blackheads? Yeah. See them right over right over there. Those are the things you look for, and then you watch the changes down in here and stuff. And when you can, and even back here, because I'm an eyesore for them, or a eye candy. I think I'm more of an eye candy. And it was unreal up here, man. My son's supposed to send me a picture. I'll send you a picture where my hand's right in front of a bear shit. And the size of that frigger, he must be like, if you measured around it, probably 4 or 5 inches. And an interesting thing is, which I believe is, because I was up there the day before, or 2 days before, and me and my son came walking up there, and there was added a whole bunch of dry bear poops. And then what I did was I pointed out to my son by lifting them and stuff how they weren't actually a fresh poop being dropped there, how they were dried poops brought, hence that huge one for sure, because the 2 days before I did some videotaping in there. It's the one where I got the feather and stuff, and when I got that feather in my hand, there's once again a huge Sasquatch pile right back there. I've got a short clip of that. I'm hoping to be able to make it a little smaller, but I can't present awesomeness yet. The awesomeness will come some other time when, for starters, this camera is doing, really poor. Whoops. My other camera is kind of in a rough, or it's been broken. I pulled it out recently here because I'm going to get it established, repaired. Now I'm going to go through some questions or some comments. Okay, so how do we do this? Oh yeah, this is a pain in the ass, isn't it? Whoops. No. I don't know why I brought up that. Oops. Okay, shut you again. My kitty passed on August. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. What is this location? This is in Mission, British Columbia. Okay? So if you're old, you're from the Gecko here or something like that. Down that way, down there is where is what I call the clan, the Ramsey clan. Up there, that's the monastery. So you guys can find that pretty easy on the map where the monastery is. So the monastery is up on that higher, here, I'm just going to go up there. So right on my top there, that's going to be where the monastery is. Just go down 100 feet or 150 feet the other side, and that's where my camp is right now. So I'm hooked up to the monastery clan. Right here is where the Ramsey clan is. If we were to throw a rock, maybe about a half a mile, maybe closer to a mile. What are you doing videotaping me?
I'm on video call.
Well, you're showing your camera right at me, so I thought you were videotaping. Hey! I was just teasing somebody. So where am I? Oh yeah, so that's the Hand Grab clan from way back. It was a print, you guys. I went out, I had this adventure one day where I went out and I said, you guys, I'm going to give myself, I think it was like 15 minutes or 45 minutes on 3 different spots and see if I can come up with a different clan area. The first place I stopped at, I believe, was the Hand Grab clan. What I ended up figuring out, and I believe it's right and it's all documented, there's horses there and stuff, and they like to hang out in that area when the horses are away or whatever type thing, right? And you could all tell it was, they're hanging out there and doing their mischievous little, farming techniques, eating techniques, different things like this, living. And I ended up wondering what's going on with these weird kind of piles here. And I ended up realizing they would go down just like that, kind of grab that handful like that, and then throw it on their footprints or the kids' play area or whatever. Grab a couple more. I even did the same. That was when I was a little bit more naive. So I did the same practice to confirm right beside a couple of them. And yeah, obviously a different hand, a little bit shape and stuff like that. They seemed a little bit, because of their dexterity or whatever, it seemed like there's a certain amount of an advantage they had. But other than that, I'm pretty sure that was a discovery at one of their hiding techniques. That's permanent mimicry. If you really think about that, that's a mimicking of grabbing and throwing and covering and hiding and fooling and, whatever comes into the meaning of mimicry. So I gotta get, dang, I think it only comes up when you guys talk. Oh yeah, if I do this, no. Oh, if I hit myself, there we go. And then I hit that. No. Oh, right on. I got 4 people hanging out. with the tinster today. Okay, we hit that and that goes away. So if somebody just hits something, then I'll try to grab the message, the comments there, and hold on. Or is there something else you want me to just jump over and, you know, I can read your comments later. You guys all in agreement with that? Is that cool? Tinnitus, there's one of my, that's, you know, that's pretty much the reason in a lot of ways that I'm doing what I'm doing, and I believe that I'm having the success that I'm doing. So once again, so I talked about this feather one. You see this right here? See how black that is? I think the sun's actually even kind of behind me at the time. Look at how it's, yeah, because look at my hand shine. So we got sun shining there. Can people say, no, that tree there is giving the shadow? People can say that, but watch the video. Beam me up, Scotty. I think I was just kind of horsing around with this beam me up, Scotty. You know, you got to get out there that it is. It's kind of crazy. And then this, if you really look at the asphalt, let's do this. This road here, I do not know. For sure it's not 3 years old. Right on, guys. It's going to be about 4 cents. So let us just drive for a moment here. You guys can kind of get the, you know, the poor quality of this asphalt. And I'm going to tell you right now how black they are when they're poured, when they're placed, I should say, however they're claiming their names. So I'm talking about all this. See that? And it's all in straight lines, and people can go say, hey, Ian, you know those compactors when they're rolling, sometimes they'll even leave a little ridge and stuff. Yeah, I've got all that knowledge. I know all the knowledge. They've been doing paving up around my place and stuff. I've been walking around watching them. I've also been watching their pavement deteriorate on my shifts of hanging out. I've been doing the same thing on the concrete. And as I mentioned on this video, it's yet to start happening where they do it on the paint line, where most cases they just start breaking across it like that, taking that hard, thick kind of paint. We should just transfer, see all that? That's, you know, it's kind of almost looks bleached and stuff, like the sun would be doing it and so on and so forth. And it isn't that, and it's all the way through. And I would say that the degree of how much it's changed in color from its true blackness, like there's not a spot that will show its true blackness on this asphalt anymore. There's not a spot. But if it was right now, if we just came over it, it would be just black. It would just stand out like that. That is the difference. That is the difference. And yeah, you could kind of tell almost. It looked like I had to get back into my lane there. So you can see all the way through on this road. If you actually got down on your hands and knees and stuff, you can start to examine the top of that and start to realize where you see scraping techniques, different patterns of the scraping and stuff. Already in focus in our background here, we will be able to see them. If you turned around and went here and you go there and then you go here, we will have some watchers. We will have some watchers in this immediate area. The rest of this drive just going. That's how interested they are on a guy who's gone up to the trees, studied why is there raw wood in there? Like, why is there raw wood? And I've studied and I've told us all that they're whittlers. They come in there and they whittle out, and it's as small that I can't see with my eyes. It is as small as my hairs, some of the stuff that I've actually presented on my channel with my micro camera. And so around, you can imagine in these thick areas right here, how a whole bunch of them realize I'm just driving down that, like our big prison's right there in Mission. So, and that land is, nobody goes around the prison, so it's completely treed in. The amount that are living around the prison is insane. That will be actually living there. Not, 5 years ago, we would have been talking about, yeah, it seems like they're going through here and they're doing this. And yeah, I think they must be probably heading back up to the mountains for the season or whatever, type thing like that. That is not the way anymore. We don't talk like that anymore. At 100%, wherever I go here, I can tell that they live here. I love to test out other countries. I'd love to test out other continents. Because one of the ways that I'd love to do it is because I am actually saying that to you guys, that they watch me. Whatever. Who cares what it means? Who knows what it means? It's because I'm nosy. Their way is to be nosy. And they found the most nosiest in their business. That is what's gone on here. And if you go back in history, you can see, like, because how I've explained their story. I've explained their story is not UFO. There's no UFO. Go and watch my video that I'm going to bring up right now. That is called First Face to Face, Bigfoot Encounter, something like this. And watch that guy right around 2 minutes, go that far forward. And you're going to see a flash happen in there. And I'm telling you, that flash, pretend that my circle is eye. There's another eye over there. This is one eye. You get to see all of a sudden flash like that. Okay? And when you study it like I studied it and come close and I microed and I chopped the video and I did whatever I could, zoomed it and stuff, I could tell that in 2 of my clips, that eye showed in 2 of those clips. So that means there's around 200 or so pictures of 1 second of that clip or whatever it is. And the next clip of it, it's not going to be 1 second, but the full moment of clip, yeah, maybe it is. Full moment of clip, full moment of clip. So in other words, around 200 seconds of this thing. And at this point, it illuminates certain colors. At this point, it illuminates up a different set of colors. And with that, I say, study it, understand it. Now go over to my playlist, click a video called Iran attack video, something like that. When you watch that video, your mind's going to be blowing. You're going to be wondering why the Americans aren't using this one to show us. Why aren't the other countries using this one, this in particular interaction to the rest of the world? Like this would like this, it's just mind-blowing. And if they said, all the militaries came together and said, this one is probably the one that scares the shit out of us the most, because I don't know if it's Americans, and they don't know if it's nobody knows who it is, and it's not me, but I know who it is. And when I tell you to go watch that video, you get to see who it is. And once you watch the Iranian video, you'll do the connection of what you're seeing here. Is you're actually seeing, let's call it a possession of an energy that is like a light powered type energy that come multitude in different colors. Hence many people saying how many different color of eyes they've seen out there. Hence I could say a lot to these things, but let's use some other people's comments. But when you see that light, and it probably shows the pretty bright white, when you're getting into the real white light, then you're really open your mind even more to let's absorb this and really figure out if this is a true answer or not. Anyways, and that's what you'll see in this, sorry about that, you'll see in this the video of an actual attack fight with a light bulb. Okay? A light bulb. Look at how it doesn't even illuminate off of the craft. It's not a craft. So on and so forth. Anyways, so what I say is it's a projection. That's how I believe. I've been in so many situations. I have videotaped it many times. I put it up on my channel and tried to teach certain understandings, but most people just blow past it because it's really hard to pull in the concept. But if you start realizing that, I think in China, they've recently, it sounds like they've discovered two new electrical phenomena. One I think they might be calling lightning, the other one they're just calling electrical kind of thing or something, in different colors and stuff. Just get that thought of electricity, that of lightning and stuff like that. The different styles of lightning from when you were a child to now that service and go on for hours. Listen to the thunder that just rumbles and rumbles and rumbles. And did we not always think that thunder just comes from the crack of the whip? That's what I always thought. So in other words, the lightning, whether it's hitting ground or it's just cracking airborne, who knows if it even makes the noise? That's where we're really standing. That's where you're standing. You're listening to this right now. You can throw it away and hit that kill switch, or you can be going, holy shit, this guy might be onto something. My mind's opening on some stuff that I know or watched or learned or heard. But it's not much of a Bigfoot story. It's much grander than a Bigfoot story. You don't think that Bigfoot is somehow running the world. The supernatural beings are somehow running the world. Are we doing it with them? Are we doing it against them? Are we on the same team? You want me to tell you? Because I know a lot of those answers already. And all it does is it really takes now almost just listening to the textbook, reading the textbook. It's that simple. I'm not a genius mind that has biological stuff that'll just blow your mind on complexity. No. I'm just the guy that can hook them to the biology now of it. I'm the guy that actually can hook the different industries out there that have so many things damaged and so on and so forth that are in their industry. I'm gonna, you know the videos. I said what they were called. I'm gonna end on this note with saying that in Japan, the last couple of years, they've recently decided, unseen, unheard, heard, yeah, but unseen, unvideo recorded. They figure they have a rat that they call the super rat. They're figuring it's yay big and stuff like this. And the reason why they're calling it the super rat and stuff like that is because it can scale the outside of buildings 40 towers high and stuff. It's not a super rat, guys. Although, these guys are animal teachers, the cougars that come to big bunches and stuff and people aren't understanding what's going on and stuff. All the different animal things that are kind of blowing your mind a little bit and stuff. And those are maybe animals that you could see as pets, that people would keep as that and different things like that. Allow your mind to just go with your imagination. Don't go crazy. Don't think everything is it. Find answers to help figure that out. And I say I'm one of the guys to do it. I actually say I believe I'm the top guy. I actually say I don't think another person has gotten to this depth unless it was before on time. It wasn't since Jesus's time. It wasn't since Moses's time, Abraham's time. But those guys have relations that I would be able to speak about, and you're probably maybe even going over some on your mind right now yourselves by knowing Bible stories and such. But if we go beyond that and we go like to the Pharaoh's times and stuff, we notice these colossal built things. There's somewhere, I don't know if they're all colossal, they're not all going to be huge, but there's around 170,000 different places like this around Earth. And maybe man could have only built 20,000 of them. I don't know, the way we're built. I don't know, but I know this, that these guys ancestrally, somehow, whether it's going to just be blood through blood and so on and so forth, these guys were related. Finishing note, I hope we're still running here, that these, in Australia, and in indigenous woman. I actually have that up on my related to Bigfoot or whatever supernatural selection, but there's this one Australian one on there, and this indigenous lady living real a life we none of us have ever lived. You know, these guys go brag because they go live in the forest and stuff. They've never lived the life that this lady has lived, and she was testifying how their people tell a story of when they first came into the mountains, came over the mountains, came into that land and stuff, that there was another being here that they used to call the mountain bigger builders and the valley shapers. And then you go look at, in your mind right now, go look at the Grand Canyon and tell me where all the gravel's piled up. Where did the Grand Canyon push it to from the water that they try to convince us that it was water worn? And you look at it and it's all broken, it's all fracked, it's all broken like our asphalt and our concrete on all our fancy cities. I look at the White House, I can see the monkeying around on those trees there and stuff. I'm not saying I've seen them in the White House property. I say I can see the trees and stuff, and you get to start to read the language of the trees by reading their skin. It's like their fingerprint, and it's kind of weird that Charles Darwin didn't realize that, because he died saying that the forest is an abominable mystery, and I would be able to explain both of those words to him within moments. The clarity would just start to blow away or whatever. I'd still get to yap for an hour or two or whatever with the guy, so you get to hear about how my adventure went through the whole thing. But trust me, it's just that simple. It's actually that close. They're just living right in those trees right even behind me. So best of luck, and gosh, do I ever hope this was good.